You are currently living in a cage that you cannot see, touching bars you cannot feel, obeying a master you have never met. You believe your choices are your own. You believe that if you work hard, love deeply, and tell the truth, the world will reward you. But look around you, look closely. Who is actually winning? Is it the person who gives everything away freely? Is it the one who is transparent, predictable, and relentlessly kind? Or is it the one who holds back, the one who calculates, the one who seems to operate by a different set of rules entirely? 500 years ago, a man named Niccolò Machiavelli wrote down a truth so cold, so brutal, and so undeniable that history tried to ban his work. He didn't write about how the world should be, he wrote about how it is. He understood that human nature is not driven by morality. It is driven by power, fear, desire, and self-interest. If you ignore these forces, you become their victim. If you understand them, you become their architect. Most people move through life as player two in their own game. They react, they defend, they wait for permission. They are controlled by unseen laws of psychology that dictate who gets respect, who gets loved, and who gets left behind. Today we are going to dismantle the illusion. We are going to walk through the 7 Machiavellian laws that are secretly controlling your life right now. These are not tips. These are the operating system of human hierarchy. By the end of this video, you will have a choice. Continue to be the pawn moved by invisible hands, or cut the strings and finally see the board. But a warning, once you see these laws, you cannot unsee them. What is understood cannot be unknown. Imagine a marketplace where your time is the currency. You flood the stalls with endless supply. Everyone grabs freely, no one treasures it. This is the trap of abundance wired into your primal brain. Evolution taught you to share resources for survival in tribes, but in modern games, over-availability signals low value, like air you breathe without notice. Why does this matter? Because respect flows to the rare, not the routine. Your amygdala craves connection, pushing you to respond instantly, to show up always. This drains your power, scatters your focus, leaves you exhausted and undervalued. Most people chase approval by being everywhere. They text back in seconds, attend every gathering, solve every problem thrown their way. But this breeds contempt. Others see you as a tool, not a treasure. You become background noise, ignored until needed. Contrast this with the strategist who vanishes strategically, creating mystery, sparking pursuit. Think of a historical figure like Cleopatra. She didn't chase alliances, she made kings chase her, appearing only when it amplified her allure, withdrawing to heighten desire. In your workplace, don't volunteer for every task. Let silence build curiosity. In relationships, delay replies. Let them wonder. This flips the dynamic. They lean in, you pull back. The void you create draws them closer. This is scarcity in action. You must ration your presence with intention. Apply this principle or remain diluted like water in an ocean, present everywhere but valued nowhere. But what if your value depends on more than just showing up? This leads us to the second law. Picture a castle under siege. The hero charges in, saves the day, then gets forgotten in peacetime. This is the dopamine lure of acclaim. Your brain releases hits from praise, urging you to fix, to rescue, to shine momentarily. But biology betrays you here. Attachment circuits wire you for short-term bonds, fading once the crisis passes. Why is this crucial? Because true power roots in ongoing need, not fleeting gratitude. Your limbic system seeks love through acts of service, making you disposable once served. Most fall into this trap. They play savior in jobs, covering shifts, solving crises, only to be sidelined when things stabilize. In bonds, they pour support, heal wounds, then watch as healed partners drift away. The Machiavellian shift builds indispensability instead. Hoard unique edges, become the pillar others fear to remove. Recall Julius Caesar. He didn't just win battles, he forged loyalties through essential aid, making allies reliant on his vision, his resources, his strategic mind. In your career, master a skill no one else holds, control key connections, make your exit feel like a catastrophe. In personal ties, offer irreplaceable insight, calm storms only you understand. Don't solve everything at once. Dole out value slowly, strategically. This creates habit, reliance, fear of loss. When you're the foundation, removal shakes the entire structure. They guard you fiercely because losing you means losing stability. This is dependence by design. You must embed yourself deeply into the systems around you. Apply this or fade like yesterday's hero, celebrated briefly then forgotten completely. But how do you protect your plans from prying eyes? This leads us to the third law. Envision a battlefield shrouded in mist. Enemies guess your moves, strike blindly while you advance unseen. This counters your brain's social validation urge. The amygdala flares with fear of isolation, compelling you to declare intentions, seek cheers, broadcast your plans. But this releases early dopamine, sapping drive, exposing vulnerabilities before you've even begun. Why is this vital? Predictability invites attacks, turns you into prey. Evolution favored the open for group harmony, but power demands secrecy. Most people broadcast goals loudly. I'm starting a venture, shedding weight, ending this tie. They crave nods of approval, but they get sabotage instead. Envy stirs, doubters, plant seeds of hesitation. Your hunger wanes from premature wins that haven't actually happened. The override demands concealment, where masks reveal nothing until done. Like Sun Tzu's generals who feigned weakness, lured foes into traps through calculated misdirection. In daily arenas, don't announce promotions you're chasing. Let actions surprise everyone. In social webs, hide ambitions behind small talk. When questioned, deflect with calm. This projects enigma. Others reveal themselves trying to pierce your mystery. Use decoys strategically. Pretend interest in safety while plotting ascent. By maintaining silence, you gather intelligence while they expose flaws. Strike when ready with no warnings. This disarms opposition, secures edges, creates advantages. People can't block what they can't foresee, can't prepare for what they don't know is coming. This is opacity as strategy. You must cloak your path until the moment of revelation. Apply this or become an open target for those who see your moves before you make them. But what if emotions betray your stance? This leads us to the fourth law. Think of a seesaw unbalanced, one side heavy with care, tipping control to the light. This exploits your dopamine-chasing attachment. Your brain floods with worry when invested deeply, signaling desperation to everyone watching. Why is this essential? Balance dictates dominance. Overcare breeds disregard. The limbic loop traps you in analysis. Are we fine? Did I make an error? This reeks of fragility, repels people subtly but certainly. Most overpour everything they have. They chase distant partners, beg for scraps, elevate others while diminishing themselves. They grip tight, fearing loss, but this very grip invites mistreatment. The strategist fosters self-reliance, detaches without apathy, builds inner gravity like a star pulling planets into orbit. Recall Queen Elizabeth. She loved sparingly, held suitors at bay, drawing devotion through elusiveness and strategic distance. In your bonds, when they withdraw, stand firm. Let the imbalance sting them instead of you. In deals, show readiness to exit. This shifts leverage immediately. Here's the paradox that hits hard. Need repels, independence attracts. We crave the aloof, the self-assured, those who seem complete without us. Make yourself complete, they orbit naturally, willing to lose, secures the win. Pull energy back, watch pursuit ignite in response. This restores symmetry on your terms, not theirs. This is detachment as power. You must center yourself before you can influence others. Apply this or stay anchored down by those who feel your desperation. But when conflict arises, how do you wield the blade? This leads us to the fifth law. Visualize a festering wound. You poke gently, prolong agony, infection spreads throughout the system. This stems from your aversion circuits. The brain shuns pain, opting for slow drips over sharp ends, choosing gradual suffering over immediate resolution. Why is this critical? Drawn-out harm offends more, breeds resentment that festers. Biology pushes hesitation, guilt wires you to soften blows, but this tortures all parties involved. Most drag conflicts endlessly. They half-end ties with maybe laters, offer false hopes in cuts, keeping doors ajar. Pain lingers, healing never truly begins. The Machiavellian cut is swift and total, like Alexander slicing the Gordian knot. No untangling, one stroke severs completely. In life, spot decay early, toxic bonds, dead habits, failing ventures. Strike decisively, end without appeals, drop paths back. This shocks initially, but closes chapters. Healing starts fast when endings are clear. Dole out gains gradually, let satisfaction savor and linger. But pains? Unleash fully once with minimal scarring. People respect clean ends, dignity exists in finality, not in limbo. Don't be the slow poisoner, be the healer through severity. If guilt rises, suppress it. Mercy lies in speed, not in delay. This spares future torment for everyone involved. Embrace the role, execute without remorse. Wounds close cleaner when cut is decisive. This is precision in action. You must strike once with full commitment. Apply this or infect your world with prolonged suffering. But visibility demands more than deeds alone. This leads us to the sixth law. Consider a theater stage. Lights dim on the quiet actor, spotlight steals toward the bold. This battles your humility imprint. Evolution hid the meek from threats, but now obscurity equals irrelevance in every arena that matters. Why is this imperative? Perception shapes reality. The brain judges surfaces first, depth later. If unseen, you vanish from consideration entirely. Most toil silently, head down, awaiting notice that never comes. But recognition bypasses them completely. Competence without show fades into the background. The override curates image deliberately. Perform power like Napoleon's coronations, staged grandeur commanding awe from all who witnessed. In your realm, don't blend into the crowd, contrast against it. If chaos reigns around you, embody calm. Posture tall, movements deliberate, speak without fillers, claim space naturally. Craft mystery online, share peaks while hiding mundane struggles. This isn't deceit, it's strategy. Your inner worth is private, outer armor is public. If you don't shape the narrative, enemies will twist it against you. Become the enigma, the standout that people notice. Attention follows presence, respect trails attention. Sharpen appearance, polish presence, Wield it as a tool of influence. Stand out or stand aside. Those are your only options. This is spectacle as strategy. You must stage your aura deliberately and consistently. Apply this or dissolve into shadows where no one remembers your name, but timing weaves it all together. This leads us to the seventh law. Envision a river in flood. You dive rashly, currents claim you and drag you under. Wait for calm, navigate surely with control. This tames your amygdala's impulses. Threats spark frenzy, desires create haste, overriding patience with panic. Why is this supreme? Haste exposes flaws, erodes dignity, reveals desperation. Biology rushes for quick wins, but mastery waits for the perfect moment. Most react impulsively. They fire off replies in anger, grab offers without consideration, quit prematurely when frustrated. Mistakes compound rapidly. The strategist detaches and observes flows, like a chess grandmaster pausing before critical moves. In history, Hannibal waited for perfect terrain, crushed foes at Cannae through patience. In your battles, hold back from responding to insults. Let silence unnerve opponents. In negotiations, outweight urgency. Theirs crumbles while yours strengthens. Suppress anxiety, train endurance, spot cycles in human behavior, aggression phases followed by retreat lulls. Attack when winds favor your position, retreat to sharpen your edge. Force nothing before its time, let moments ripen naturally. Patience transforms you into a predator, conserving energy for the decisive kill. Step outside the frenzy. View situations as an overseer rather than a participant. Control the clock. Outcomes bend toward those who wait. This is rhythm as mastery. You must wait with lethal patience and precision. Apply this or rush headlong into ruin that could have been avoided. You have now seen the 7 laws. Scarcity, value is created by withdrawal. Dependence, safety comes from being needed, not loved. Concealment, never tell them what you are doing until it is done. Asymmetry, the one who cares less wins. Cruelty, cut clean, cut fast, and never look back. Spectacle, perception is reality, control the show. Timing, patience is the ultimate predator. These laws are not nice. They are not what you learned in kindergarten. They contradict everything society tells you about being a good citizen. But ask yourself, who taught you those rules? Was it the people who wanted you to be powerful, or was it the people who wanted you to be compliant? Society needs workers. It needs bees who sacrifice themselves for the hive. It needs people who are predictable, honest, patient, and blindly loyal. It trains you to be a sheep because sheep are easy to shear and easy to eat. But you feel something different, don't you? That's why you are still listening. You feel that the role of the sheep does not fit. You are tired of being sheared. To apply these laws is to step out of the herd. It is to accept that you might be called cold, you might be called calculating, you might be called Machiavellian. Wear those titles like armor, because the alternative is to remain a victim of those who do understand these laws. The world is divided into those who play the game and those who are played, pieces in someone else's game. There is no third option. You cannot opt out. Gravity pulls you down whether you believe in it or not. Power dynamics control your life, whether you acknowledge them or not. The only choice you have is whether you want to be the hammer or the anvil. When you start applying these laws, your reality will shift. People will respect you more, but they will understand you less. You will have more control, but you will feel more alone. You will see the strings on everyone else, and you will realize how blindly they dance. It is a lonely path, but it is the only path that leads to sovereignty. You are no longer a child waiting for the world to be fair. You are an architect building a fortress in a world that is fundamentally unfair. Build it strong, build it silent, and let them break themselves against your walls. But understand this, knowing the laws is not enough. Information without execution is just mental masturbation. You can nod your head at this video, feel a surge of power, and then go back to texting back too fast, oversharing your plans, and begging for love. If you do that, you are worse than ignorant, you are a coward. The real test is not in the understanding, it is in the application. It is in that split second when your phone buzzes and you want to pick it up, but you don't. It is in that moment you want to scream at your ex, but you stay silent. It is in that moment you want to brag about your new project, but you keep your mouth shut. That is where the war is won, in the silence, in the restraint, in the dark. Most people will watch this and change nothing. They will return to the comfort of their cage because the cage is safe, the cage is warm. Are you most people, or are you ready to see how deep the rabbit hole actually goes? Because what I have shared with you today, this is just the surface. This is the public level. These are the laws allowed to be spoken in the light. But there are darker truths. There are techniques of psychological influence, of shadow work, and of true manipulation that cannot be shared on this platform. If this opened your eyes, understand, this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't, but if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.